Hey there, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've already been here before. My name is Latasha. I'm a freelance social media manager and very part-time influencer. I have worked with a few brands in my life. I actually have an online course all about working with brands and like pitching to brands and best practices and things like that. But anyway, I thought that for today's video, we could have just kind of like a casual chat. Just want to sit down, sip some coffee, and talk a little bit about how to really maximize those brand partnerships and turn them into relationships. So here's the thing, when you have a YouTube channel and an Instagram account that's as small as mine, the sponsorship rates that you're getting are like a couple $100s. Every once in a while I'll get one that's like 4 figures and that feels really cool. But typically they're one bill or something like that. So for me, it's really truly not about the money. For me, when I work with brands, the goal for me is really to build a long-lasting relationship so that as I grow, they grow, as they grow, I grow. You know, we can do multiple things, because if you do one $200 project, that's kind of like, I could take it or leave it. But if you are able to get 5 or 10 $200 projects, now that is like kind of game changing, right? Like I said, in my online course, I do cover like the first step of how to get partnerships with a brand. So I'll leave that down below if anyone's interested in taking it. But this is really for like that next step. Like once you've secured the bag, how do you keep the bag? So first thing that I want you to do is over-deliver. I think that some of us, not all of us, can be a little entitled. Not all of us, don't get offended. And some brands can be entitled too, to be totally fair. So it definitely works both ways. But I do think as the creator, as the influencer, whatever you want to call yourself, if you want repeat clients, that's what I call my sponsors, by the way. I refer to them as clients because it's the same thing. When I'm a freelance social media manager, freelance content creator, I'm creating content for that brand and I call them my client. Why is it any different just because I'm posting it on my Instagram, you know? So treat it like that, number one. Like go into it with a professional mindset that this isn't just, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have fun on Instagram. Like it's a business relationship. And then over deliver, just like you would for a client. So, you know, I like to give them more than they ask for. If it's an Instagram partnership and they want, you know, 1 image posted, I'll make sure I get at least 3 to 5 images that they could use. And I will send it over to them and say, hey, like if you like any of these, you can have them. If you want to keep them and post them on your channels later. I'm not going to post 5 images, but a lot of times brands really like just having the content, like I said, so that they can post it on their channels and things like that. So that's just a nice thing. And also to give them the choice so that you're not just giving them one option, you're giving them multiple options. That's always a good thing to do. And I mean, obviously like do a good job. Don't just really quick take a picture in your living room. I mean, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes that's what they're looking for, but I really try to go above and beyond. When I do fashion or shoe type collabs, typically my Instagram is not like very high fashion and modelly, but I will go the extra mile. I will either pay a photographer or at least have a friend or my partner help me take photos so that they're actually, you know, nice and artsy and cool looking and you can see my whole body and it's not just like a selfie. Again, unless that's what's like in the creative brief and that's what they want, that's different. But if you're getting a few $100s, you can find a photographer who will work with you for an affordable rate. Even better yet, a lot of times you can find photographers who are willing to work with you on kind of like a trade type deal, especially if you are, I'm gonna stop using quotes. If you're an influencer and you have a good page reach, even the photographer might wanna work with you so that you guys can kind of cross promote each other. You can work a lot of times with photography students, videographer students, that kind of thing, to get some affordable professional work done for you. So definitely over deliver on your content is the #1 way I think that you can get return clients, return sponsors. Number 2, you want to make sure that you're actually getting eyeballs on your content. So that's the goal of it, is to get the sponsor traffic or signups or downloads or like whatever it is. So I always think it's so wild when I see influencers post content and kind of just like not care about it and just walk away from it. They post the link once and then, or if that, and then just kind of like let it do its thing. I try to be really, I don't want to say aggressive, but you know, I don't know, for lack of better words, aggressive with my promotion of my paid content, sponsored content, because somebody paid to have that created. And so I want to make sure that they're getting their money's worth. And selfishly, I want to make sure that they're getting their money's worth so that they'll want to work with me again and they'll see that I actually proved a strong return on their investment. So that means, send it out to your email list if it's relevant content. Promote it on social channels. Like, you have all these social channels, so promote it on there, post it on there, tag the brand too, just to kind of show that you're doing your due diligence. And a lot of times the brand will then engage with that post if you tag them. So let's say that the sponsorship is an Instagram sponsorship. Obviously you're going to tag them on there, but if you post it on Facebook, you post it on Twitter and tag them, a lot of times they will engage with you over there too, which can then bring new eyes to your content as well. So again, it can be kind of a selfish thing too. Maybe they'll retweet you and get you some more Twitter followers, whatever. So do your due diligence when it comes to that stuff, and put it in your link in your bio, pin it on Twitter, stuff like that. They're like those little things that really add up. You can also share it in Facebook groups. I know my Facebook group, Money Making Micro Influencer, it's open to join for anyone who's interested in joining, so I'll leave the link to that down below too. But we're a very supportive group, and I think if you can find other groups like that, I'm sure there's many others, I don't care if people post links in there. It's totally fine. And a matter of fact, if somebody comes in there and says, hey, this is a sponsored post that I did for this brand, can you guys check it out? I will be more apt to even check it out. And I do that for all of my friends who are influencers, creators, that kind of thing. If I see that they're doing like a paid sponsorship or just like any type of collaboration, I try really hard to engage with that content, at least give it a like, but I try to comment too, just to show my support. And it means a lot when people do that for me too, because it does really make a difference. Brands look at that stuff. They look at your engagement, they look at your clicks, they look at all that kind of stuff. So it's important that they're good. And then you can also, on the promotion front, pay to promote it. I'm kind of shocked by like how few creators do this, especially the creators who are getting paid like a lot of money. If it's $100 sponsorship, a $50 sponsorship, I get it. You kind of want to keep all that money because especially even after like PayPal fees or your invoicing software fees or whatever, it's really not that much. But if you're getting, $1,000, you can afford to put a couple of dollars behind a Facebook post or an Instagram post to get some more eyes on it. And the cool thing about using paid advertising is that you're not just reaching anybody, like you're not just throwing it out into the ether, you're actually you're able to target the ideal person who needs that content or who wants that content, So if it's a purse brand or whatever, you can target women who are in a certain geographic area, who have an interest in a certain handbag designer or whatever it is, so that they're kind of like a warm audience. You can also target your existing page fans, Instagram followers, people who engage with your Instagram account, that kind of thing. So again, this doesn't have to be a lot. You can throw a $5 boost behind a post and see some really, really nice metrics from it. Which brings me to the last point, the last thing, number 3, that you can do to improve these relationships is provide insights at the end. Again, like it's wild to me how many people don't send any follow-up, and how many times I also like don't do this just because we get busy and things. I get it, but just send something at the end of the campaign. I'm not saying you need to do like a full-on report and like do like a PowerPoint presentation and stuff like that, but just provide a little recap, like, hey, the collaboration went really well. I saw this many number of clicks, if it's like a blog post or if there's some way that you can track clicks. If they don't give you a tracking link, definitely use a bit.ly link. You can do bit.ly by yourself for free, just so you can at least get that number of clicks to report back to them, assuming it's good. Hopefully it's good. But yeah, just give them a high level overview, like, hey, I got this many clicks. Show testimonials or screenshots of things that, if there's anything that was like really amazing, if somebody left a comment like, oh my gosh, this is a life-changing product, I'm going to order it right now, I love this, follow them, whatever. I get that all the time when I work with brands, which is really nice. So just take a quick screenshot or something and send it over to them just to kind of prove that, hey, this worked. I liked it. This is how it went on my end. If you have any sort of more constructive feedback for them too, that's usually helpful for them to know as well. So just provide some type of feedback. And then this final step is really a great opportunity for you to then introduce an additional sponsorship or, you know, open the door for future collaborations, you can say like, I loved working with you. It was such a pleasure. Here's another idea I had. A lot of people were asking about this, you know, other product that you offer. I would love to share it with them. Or if you plan to do a launch for a new product, call me, you know, whatever. Like, you can just frame it however you want to, but really be thoughtful about this and truly make it like something that they can't resist. And hopefully by following those first 3 steps, they'll be like, oh my gosh, they were such a pleasure to work with. They went above and beyond, they did all this cool stuff, and they got us some cool results. Let's definitely work with them. So I typically, like, the brands that I've been working with lately have been brands that I either have worked with before in the past, or we have plans to work together again, or we've at the very least like left the door open for future collaborations. That's one of the reasons that I'm not the most gigantic fan of some of those like sponsorship platforms, because I think those are a little bit more one and done. But I will say that I have had plenty of repeat sponsors from using platforms like FameBit and things like that. So it's definitely possible. I just think you have to work that relationship building a little bit more, because those are a little weird because you don't have like their direct email address and things, so it can be a little different, I guess. But that's kind of what I recommend. I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. And don't forget to check out my course. It's called Money Making Micro-Influencer. I'm gonna have a link for it down below. But if you're interested in learning a little bit more about nurturing these sponsorship relationships and building them and finding them in the first place, presenting yourself professionally online, it goes over everything from like building a website to getting, you know, more followers, building your audience. I go over a case study of one of my most profitable videos that I've ever made here on YouTube and a lot more. So yeah, that will be in the description box down below, and subscribe if you haven't yet also, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.